want you to think about this in the moment. Was he repentant in the relationship? I'm sorry that I hurt you. And then he turns around and hurts you. I'm sorry that I talked to you that way. And then he talks to you that way. Like, I'm sorry you feel that way. And then, well, you're still going to feel that way because he doesn't control that. Do you regret the relationship? Like, is it a piece of your life you're just like, I regret even having this. I regret even finding this guy. I regret this entire piece. Do you regret what happened? Maybe you regret the part of the relationship that was really good. You're like, we had such an amazing time. We had such connected sex. Like, we were really, really engaged. Like, it was amazing at the beginning. We had these amazing times. We went on these amazing vacations. It was so amazing. And you regret losing him. Some of you don't regret the person. You regret the persona. Like, you regret the image that you fell in love with. You regret the idea of having a person in your life that made you feel special, that made you feel validated. Like, you regret, like, losing that piece because you're like, now I don't know about me. Now I don't know what I can do. And so it's an interesting topic when we bring up this piece of regret, because we're like, well, how does this actually matter? What does it actually show up? Like, how does this actually come into play? And so I want you to consider, when we think of this piece of regret, how does this actually connect when we talk about narcissists? Do narcissists actually regret anything? What does it actually look like? So I thought for a moment, like, let's just define regret. Let's make sure that we actually know, hey, this is what regret actually is. Regret is this piece of feel sad, repentant, or disappointment over something that has happened or has been done, especially a lost or a missed opportunity. So let's kind of break it down. Feel sad. Does a narcissist feel sad? Well, first off, it's important to know that narcissists do have emotions. They're not just robots, even though they think they're robots sometimes. They're not just like demigods that don't have feelings and emotions and they can just compartmentalize everything, which they do, but they still have feelings and they still have emotions. So does that mean a narcissist can be sad? Yes, a narcissist can be sad. Something can happen that can produce sadness, 100%. Now, does a narcissist typically know what to do with sadness? No. So it's a lot easier, like sad, oh, rage. Sad, oh, yell at you. Sad, oh, blame you. Like, that's a lot easier than it is to deal with sadness. That's just real talk. And so inside of sadness, a narcissist oftentimes doesn't want to engage with it because they're like, I don't know how to deal with this emotion. It feels vulnerable. It feels uncomfortable. It shows weakness because I have emotion. So there's all these different pieces of sadness, doesn't necessarily connect, doesn't necessarily correlate. Now, there could be pieces where the narcissist was with someone that made them feel better about themselves, right? That's what most supply is supposed to be for a narcissist. It's like, how are you going to help me? How am I going to look better for me? How is this going to make me feel better, right? So the narcissist might be sad that he lost that piece of supply that made him feel better. Did you notice how I phrased it there? I tried to phrase it really specific. The narcissist feels sad about the supply that made him feel. That's what it's all about. I'm sad because I don't feel that way because I don't have that person. Not, I'm sad because I miss that person because I love this person so much and I cared and validated them. Is I'm sad because you're not here to make me feel. You're not here to make me be the person that I want to be. You're not here to pump up my ego. Therefore, I'm sad. Do you get what I'm talking about? Narcissists can have sadness. Narcissists might be sad about a person they lost because of what that person did for them. You see, a narcissist isn't sad about your intrinsic worth. Like, frankly, for most narcissists, that's kind of like a laughable point. He doesn't care. He doesn't look at you and be like, oh man, you were so good. You were so valuable. You were so amazing. You were so worth it. Like, no, that thought that's even going through my mind, like, that's kind of ludicrous. It's like ridiculous. I don't say that to make light of you. I say that to make light of how you think about what the narcissist thinks about you. He doesn't. All right, so this piece of the sadness, right? Like, that's the first thing. Regret, sadness. Then there's a piece of repentant, and it's got a nice little underline. So I'm going to click on repentant too. Because you're just going to want to be able to get really clear. Repentant, expressing or feeling sincere. We might be stuck on that one. Sincere regret and remorse. Remorseful. Yeah, we're not able to go down this road very far, are we? Narcissists, they regret because they're repentant. Yeah, okay. All right, so if you look at it really quick, repentance oftentimes is a word that gets dropped a lot in Christianity and religion. What is repentance? It's this act of turning from one direction to the other. Like, you probably heard that if you've gone to like Sunday school or church or something like that. Like, repentance is like saying like, hey, I was going this way, now I'm going this way. And really what it is, it's just this idea of, hey, was there actually this sincere thing that happened that pivoted the direction the person was supposed to go? So I want you to think about this in the moment. Was he repentant in the relationship? I'm sorry that I hurt you. And then he turns around and hurts you. I'm sorry that I talked to you that way. And then he talks to you that way. Like, I'm sorry you feel that way. And then, well, you're still going to feel that way because he doesn't control that. Like, he's just apologizing to make you feel bad for feeling. Not all narcissists apologize. It's some do, and they do that to be able to confuse you. Because for some of you, you're like, wait a second, mine apologized. Mine was repentant. Okay, but if something didn't change, if there wasn't a transformation, if it wasn't a pivot in direction, it wasn't sincere and it wasn't repentance. It wasn't actual transformation. It was just a temporary modification to make himself look and feel better. I illustrate this a lot of times by using the slap analogy, where he looks at you and he says, hey, he says whatever. Actually, I lost my train of thought there. He says whatever, but he slaps you, right? Like, he just slaps you. And then he's like, I'm sorry. And then he slaps you and you're like, oh, that really hurt. And he's like, I'm sorry you feel that way. And he slaps you again. And you have to realize, even if he says he's sorry every single time he slaps you, he's not repentant because nothing's actually changing. There's no remorse. There's no regret. There's just this piece of like, hey, in the moment, I think it'd be fun to slap you. Slap. Oh, you made me feel bad. I'm sorry. Trying to play down your emotions, trying to play down your feelings, but there's not a true repentance. There's not a true transformation. There's not a true change. So we've got feeling sad. We've got repentant. Then we have disappointment over, and it's like a little parentheses, something that has happened or been done, especially a lost or missed opportunities. This one's interesting. Something that has happened. So disappointed, then something has happened. How many of you have had a narcissist that's disappointed in something that's happened? Like, you exposed him, right? Like there's this huge disappointment of like, I can't believe you betrayed me by telling the truth. I can't believe you betrayed me by showing others who the asshole that I actually am. Like there's this piece of like, I'm disappointed in this, right? He's also going to be disappointed that you rejected him. He's going to be disappointed and play the victim. Like, there's all different kind of things. Narcissists will be disappointed, okay? His whole life he's going to be disappointed because he's not willing to actually show up as a man. Instead, he's just showing up as a coward, pretending to be a man, and then he's like, oh, I'm disappointed. Yeah, you should be, because you need to actually man up, be honest, and learn to change your life. And so inside of this piece, yeah, narcissists are going to have disappointment in their life. They're going to be filled with a lot of disappointment, discouragement. It's going to lead to shame, to guilt, isolation, all these different kind of things that are going to just spiral them out even more. But then it goes on to be able to say a loss, especially in a loss or a missed opportunity. So then we get to this place of like, does the narcissist regret you because you're a loss, because you left him, right? Well, you left him, so he's going to feel rejected. He's going to feel abandoned. He's going to switch that around, so he's a victim, right? So there's a piece of that, like, oh, I regret losing someone. But you have to understand, what is the motivation behind that? What is the intention? Okay, a lot of times a narcissist regrets losing another person because of how you made him feel. Do you see this? Like, he a lot of times will regret the relationship because of the high he got off manipulating you. He'll regret the control piece. He'll regret his dynamic of how better he was, of how he made himself feel so much better. The last piece, missed opportunity. He might regret losing you because he wanted to use you for sex another time. He might regret losing you because he didn't get a chance to still be with you when you got your inheritance. He might regret losing you because he didn't get a chance to manipulate you for your time, your money, your attention, your affection. But it's not because he misses you. Do you get that? too many people get caught up in this. And honestly, the easiest way to be able to state it is too many people get caught up with their egos. Well, he just misses me because I had this really, because I'm so worthy. Because he looked at me and he saw how good I was, and now he regrets it. He regrets losing how wonderful I am. Honestly, get over yourself. Because if you think that the narcissist is looking at you and thinking like, oh my gosh, this woman was so amazing because she was loving, kind, and helpful. No, he's not. He's like, dang it, I missed that opportunity to have sex with her one last time. I regret that. Let me go find someone else. He's not looking at you and thinking that you have this worth. If he did, he would have treated you differently. Some of you deal with a relationship and deal with all of this shit that he puts on you. And then when he leaves, you have to justify it in your mind, making yourself feel better of like, oh, well, he just left me and he's going to realize like what a good person he left. No, he didn't realize because he didn't care. That's why he treated you so awful. That's why he made you feel so awful. That's why he beat you down mentally and emotionally. That's why you have hardly any self-esteem. You're struggling with your confidence and you're grasping at all these stories and lies to make yourself feel better instead of healing. The narcissist doesn't regret losing you. He regrets taking advantage of you. And if this resonates and if you're stuck with some of these mindsets thinking, I don't know how to actually move forward in the healing process, click on the link down below. rawmotivations.com/breakthrough, because you need to move forward in a place that says, hey, I'm unwilling to get unstuck from my thinking, from my thought process that leads me back to the toxic person, cycling through toxic people, and to finally heal. If that's you today, then click on the link. We'd love to talk to you soon.